Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Two Step Productions with another Minecraft video, and I'm sorry about the long break. I got busy and kind of turned into a bit of a break from YouTube, but I'm back and I have a video for you guys today with 3 different designs for destination selectors. So here's number 1. I'll give you a brief look at it, and you press a button and the output goes on for one of them. Press a different button and the output goes on for a different one and clears the first output. Here's the second one. Here's a look at it from the side, and same thing. Press the button, one output goes on. Press a different button, different output goes on. And here's the third one. Same thing. One button, one output goes on. Different button, different output goes on. And I'm going to break all 3 of these designs down for you. They all operate off of different principles. This one being that if you give a sticky piston a short pulse, it leaves the block out. This one being a simple RS NOR latch with non-sticky pistons, and this one being a bud switch. So as you can see, if I update it, it goes back. So now I'm going to break these down for you block by block. So the first one I'm going to show you is the one that operates off of the short pulse to a sticky piston. And to build that, you're going to need to start with a little platform here, and then I'm just going to build the interface quickly here, and I'm going to use an iron block to show where the actual input is going to come from in the form of this button. And you're going to put a torch on top, and that torch is going to lead into a block, which is going to lead into 2 repeaters, both on 1 tick of delay. And then you're going to go down here and build off and put redstone dust, then a repeater on 3 ticks of delay. And then you're going to go back up here, and these repeaters are going to lead into a sticky piston, and that piston is going to have a block on it. So as you can see, this repeater leads into that block, and then off of that you're going to have a sticky piston here with the block. You're going to go down below that block, place another block with a redstone torch on it, and then one more block off of the torch and a repeater on that. And now, as you can see, when I press the button, the block gets left out over the torch, and that gives the output. And if I were to press it again, it would bring the block back in. And so now I'm going to build a second one right next to it for you to show that this, when you press one, the other one gets cleared. So same thing. And as you can see, these redstone dusts connect, and that's important because that's what actually resets one when you press another. And so you can build up to 15 of these in a row. And then redstone torch, 2 repeaters on 1 tick, sticky piston, block, sticky piston, block, block, torch, block, and repeater. And so now I'm just going to build out the platform, and if you see, I activate one and it goes out, and now I'm going to activate the other, and the first one went back in, and now this one's out. And the benefit to this is that it's very simple to build. All you need is 2 torches, 4 repeaters, 2 redstone dust, and 4 sticky pistons, and that's for two sticky pistons, and that's for one of these, so multiply that by 15 to get all of them, and of course some blocks. And the downside to this is that when you press it, momentarily every single output is on, and so if you don't like that functionality, you'll probably want to use one of the other ones. But for this, it works pretty well, especially if you were to use it in something like a train station. So next I'm going to show you the second design, which uses the RS NOR latch of two non-sticky pistons. So now I'm going to show you guys how to build the second design, and this one is a bit more complicated, but it also has more features. So again, you're just going to start with the interface here. Again, the iron block is where you have your button, and then off of the iron block you're going to have a torch here, and that's going to lead into a block with a torch on top, and that torch is going to go into one repeater on 1 tick of delay, and that repeater is going to lead into a non-sticky piston facing downwards. Then you're going to go under the iron block here and place redstone dust, and then that dust is going to lead into a repeater on 1 tick of delay, which is going to lead into a block, and underneath that block you're going to need to place a gate, fence gate, and I'll show you why in a bit. Then next to that fence gate you're going to need to place a non-sticky piston facing upwards, and then you can place in a block and then a glass block, and last but not least a repeater leading into that glass block. And it's very important that this block is glass, because as you can see, when the glass block is in this position, there's no output. And so here's the total circuit. So as you can see, when you press the button, the output comes on, and if you notice, this piston fires first, pushing both of the blocks up, and then this piston fires, pushing them back down. So the output goes off and then turns back on. So now I'm going to build another one right next to the first one to show you that it is in fact tileable. And you're going to do the same thing, and I'm just going to build this, and then I'll talk more about its functionalities here. So again, iron block, redstone torch, 2 blocks, non-sticky piston, here's the output with the repeater up here, and torch. And then finish off the interface, and here you go. So as you can see, this output's on right now. If I were to press this button, now this output's on and this output's off. And one thing that's nice about this, while it is a bit more complicated and resource heavy, as you can see, when I press this button, this output immediately goes off and stays off. So if you were to build more of these, again up to 15 due to the redstone dust limits, when you press 1, every other output immediately goes off, and then that's the only one that turns on. So again, that output immediately goes off, and then this output goes on, and it's the only one that goes on. So that's a bit of a benefit over the last one. And these fence gates here are used to create a bud switch to power this piston, because this repeater leads into a block which is diagonal to the piston, and then it also powers this fence gate. So when the fence gate opens, that creates a block update which actually activates this piston. If this weren't here, which I'll show you now, it won't work. As you can see, that piston was never powered. So it's very important that you remember to put the fence gate there, otherwise it will not work. As you can see, now that piston was activated. So last but not least, I'm going to show you the last design, which runs off of a bud switch. And I actually showed this design in an earlier video, but I thought it was appropriate to put it in this video since it's about destination selectors or tileable outputs. So last but not least, I'm going to show you the final destination selector. And again, it starts with the same interface. And this is the one that runs off of a bud switch. So you're going to go off of this block and you're going to place a piece of redstone dust below it and a repeater leading out from the block. Then you're going to go down below this repeater and place another repeater. And this repeater on top is going to be on 3 ticks, and this repeater is going to be on 1 tick, so you don't have to change it. And this repeater here is going to lead into a block like so, and this repeater is going to lead directly into a sticky piston. And now if you place a block for the piston and another block below it with a torch, then you place a block out from the torch with the repeater, and that's the entire design. So as you can see, when you press the button, the piston stays out even though it's not being powered due to a bud switch. So if I were to update the piston, it retracts. But if you see when I build another one next to it, only the piston that is being powered stays out, so it works very nicely as a destination selector or just as a tileable array. So same thing here. Oops. And this repeater is on 3 ticks of delay, and that leads into a block. So now if I press 1, this stays out. If I press the other, this one's out now. And this one has the same downside as the first one that I showed you, in that when you press a button, momentarily every single output goes on. But again, it's very simple and very resource friendly. For this one, you only need 3 repeaters, 1 sticky piston, and 1 redstone torch, as well as 1 piece of redstone dust and some blocks. So I hope this helped, and I hope I showed you at least one that you'll find useful. All of these designs had their upsides and their downsides, but hopefully one of these at least works for you. So I'm glad you enjoyed the video, and if you liked it, please leave a like or a comment below if you have any questions, and I'll see you guys in my next video.